Hey guys, welcome back to Confessions of a Doctorholic. It's your girl, Dr. Slayman, or Hafsa. And today's confession is all about one of those weird, this wasn't in the textbook kind of trauma days. Let's call this episode, The Day a Fender Bender Turned into a Full Body Head Scratcher. So here's how it started. I was on call, minding my own business, and we get a consult for a motor vehicle accident. Now, I know that doesn't sound that strange on the surface, but trust me, it got weird fast. And let me just say this first. Getting into a car crash is literally one of my top fears. Every time I'm driving, especially at night, especially after a long shift, I catch myself hitting that brake a little harder because I swear I think someone's going to run a red light or T-bone me at an intersection. I'm also more tired. And my reaction time? Possibly a little questionable. I know. Maybe it's the trauma rotations talking, but once you've seen enough cases in the hospital that started with just a little accident, it really gets to your head. Anyway, this case, this guy was driving on a quiet side street. I'm talking 5 miles an hour speed limit, super low-key. But then he swerves to the left to avoid something and hits the right rear end of a parked car. He wasn't speeding, it wasn't some highway disaster, and yet he ends up in the trauma bay. And what made it even more bizarre is what happened after the crash. So after the accident, instead of calling 911 or heading to the ED right away, he decides to go to his friend's house. She helps clean him up and then, wait for it, they both fall asleep. Yep. No urgent care, no emergency department, just vibes and a nap. Then a few hours later, he wakes up and his Apple Watch activates emergency services, which honestly, shout out to wearable technology for knowing when humans are too chill about their injuries. So now EMS is called and that's how he ends up with us. In the trauma bay, we're doing the usual workup, head to toe, imaging, vitals, the whole thing. And honestly, most things looked pretty normal until we got to the pelvis. Turns out the poor guy had somehow, during this minor low-speed fender bender, managed to lacerate his penis. Yes, you heard me right. A penile laceration from a car crash at 5 miles per hour. At this point, we're all a little confused. Like, how does this even happen? Was the seatbelt involved? Did something in the car hit him weird? Nobody really knew. And he wasn't exactly offering up a detailed physics breakdown. But here's the thing. The injury was real. It wasn't massive or life-threatening, but it was enough to make us all collectively blink twice. And the girlfriend? She was freaking out. Which I get it. Complete valid response. If your partner wakes up in bed with a bleeding groin and EMS at the door, you're allowed to freak out. We ended up doing a trauma panel and CT and everything else came back fine. Just the one unexpected and very memorable injury. And honestly, this case just reminded me that medicine is never boring. You think you're showing up to round on bowel preps and fistula revisions, and the next thing you know, you're trying to piece together the world's slowest crash with one of the most unexpected outcomes. So that, folks, is today's confession. A low-speed crash, an Apple Watch call, a bleeding groin, and a very confused trauma team. If you're out there thinking you've seen it all, you have not. And if you're driving, maybe just double-check your seatbelt and be careful out there. Thanks for tuning in. Until next time, stay alert, stay wired, and always respect the trauma bay.